Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Startup Stories. Today, I'm here with Sunny Jain, who recently just came back from the Food Innovation and Investment Summit in San Francisco. Um, Sunny, great to have you here. My understanding is that you're doing a lot of great work in the custom probiotics area. Is that correct?
That's right, Vivian. Thank you so much for having me. It was a wonderful trip up to the Bay Area. We're located in San Diego, so not too far for us. And it was great to be able to be with colleagues and investors and tell them more about what we've been advancing in the field of personalized probiotics and customized solutions based off your own biology.
All right. You know, and of course, the first question we have to ask everybody is, what is it that your startup does, and how exactly did you get started?
Yeah, so Floré is making the microbiome the standard of care. I mean, we've created the world's first and only personalized probiotic that is utilizing AI, DNA sequencing, bioinformatics, this e-health technology with the mobile apps. And our platform and its users have now built out the world's largest microbiome database of its kind to help the 80 million Americans that are suffering from gut health issues every year. And that can be a range of chronic condition management like mood or IBS or Crohn's or colitis. But also we have an amazing following of people, what I call high health IQ, that are really dialed into their gut health and really understand that this is where they need to view their health from the inside out. And we've now built out some amazing clinical trials in these other spaces, and excited to chat with you more here today about the offerings at Floré. Myself, I have a background in molecular medicine, spent a couple decades in that area. I've worked for companies like LabCorp, Quest Diagnostics, and more recently Illumina. Now, the former are more like reference labs where you might send in your sample and get blood work done, where eventually the microbiome will probably be. And Illumina actually manufactures that DNA sequencing equipment that we use to actually sequence all the microbes of the gut. So I've had quite a journey to before founding Floré.
All right, and it sounds like you had a very strong career. Working with a lot of different labs and high tech companies. Why did you decide to start Floré
Well, I think
exactly? And yeah, why become an entrepreneur?
yeah, great question. I mean, this is the natural progression and intersect of technology, biotechnology, and food science. And my background is coming from more of the biotechnology side, but of course, who doesn't love food? And 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 starting to really think about our nutrition in a very precision way and how to maximize some of that nutrition for ourselves. And I've always tuned into what I'm eating and how I can manage my weight or how I can manage the next level of my nutrition. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm always a label reader. I read a label, and I never buy a product that I'm not reading the label for. And so I just took some of the interest that I've always had in nutrition and leveraged in my background and career into it. Now, I did have something that sort of ignited the whole entrepreneur journey for me. My son was born about 6 years ago, and he was having gut health issues. And when you see your child in noticeable pain, you will go through great lengths to find solutions. And the doctor recommended he take a probiotic, and that's where I kind of went down the rabbit hole. I got to the probiotic aisle. I see this, what I call probiotic wall of confusion. With my science background, this wasn't making sense. I mean, I'm not going to pick a product just because it has a cute baby on it. I want to know what this probiotic organism is going to do inside my child's body. And so I started studying them and understood that you can study them through molecular medicine. You can actually understand the DNA of these microbes and begin to learn more about them.
Well, that's really cool and that's wonderful. And I think your son is lucky to, have to have a, someone who is a master of like molecular medicine. But not everyone has, oh, hey, let me just hit up my, my relative who's got a major in biotech or molecular medicine to help me pick out the right probiotic for me. Uh, so, so I think the whole idea is it sounds to me like Floré is supposed to make that more accessible to those people who don't have that knowledge, who don't have that expertise, who, when they look at the shelf, they just get overwhelmed and they just buy whatever random stuff, and they hope it works.
Yeah, exactly right, Vivian. I mean, we went down the rabbit hole, but that doesn't mean everybody has to do that. Now people can learn from what we've curated. I mean, the first time I made a precision probiotic for my son, I had scientific literature papers and binders on my desk, and I'm reading through everything I can. Now we've built databases behind that. We've improved the formulation process. We've built mobile app technology to help people understand this information, really simplify the process. So the only thing that an individual needs to do is collect the sample, send it to us, and we'll handle the rest. We'll provide all the data back as well as the solution. This is what I like to call democratizing the availability of this technology. What used to be locked up in research labs that would cost tens of thousands of dollars to run, you can now get at pennies to the dollar for $80. You can get started.
Mm. Um, and do you think are there, there might be some people who might be a bit concerned also too, because you're providing these probiotics or these medicines and stuff like that. How do they know that how will they know, okay, are these, is this safe, am I working with, are these people looking out for my actual health, and it's medically proven and tested and that sort of stuff. Because of course there's a lot of there's a lot of businesses or startups out there selling the next fad, and they tell you that it's like your cure all for everything, and then you discover later, oh, by the way, that was all nonsense, that was all we totally made that up, or oh yeah, there's actually some evidence that suggests that that was totally wrong, and you end up spending like God knows how much money on this cure, a supposed cure for your health that didn't work at all.
Yeah, we really empathize with those that have been on a diagnostic odyssey for managing any part of their health. We get it that it's a confusing marketplace, and our foundational culture at the company is really to build trust and relationships with our customer base. We're very engaging. We want to hear from you. You actually get a live discussion through the process after your microbiome report is ready so that we can walk you through it. You can always reach out to our customer service. And then if you look at our website and you scroll down, we are doing things that are socially impactful. We're creating awareness around Crohn's and colitis and partnering with that organization. We have an active clinical trial in autism spectrum disorder and working with Arizona State University, and really trying to level up the quality of science that is behind these types of products. Now, if you compare and contrast that to walking into a grocery store and selecting a product, we think we've really changed the paradigm at which a consumer can build trust behind a product by creating all this material and then also curating that material for them so that they can understand that not every probiotic strain out there holds its weight in biomass. And so we want to make sure that we curate only the best strains that are going to have something effective for our population of customers. And we guarantee it. If it doesn't work for you, I mean, you're welcome to try other opportunities or other items. But we truly believe that the only way to actually manage your gut microbiome is through a precision method, because your gut microbiome is quite unique between individuals.
Yeah, I think probably this is a good segue just to get in and talk about more about those myths about the gut microbiome and probiotics. I mean I think everyone is talking about it, how it's just like a healthy gut microbiome and that sort of stuff is good for you. And so I see even in Finland, there's a lot of those products out there now. They say 85 million blah 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 of this bacteria on it. Got guts and so it's kind of like how effective are those products?
Yeah, first of all, we love the work that is coming out of Finland and the research community there. There's a large study called Helmi, Health and Early Life Microbiota Study that was done out there. There are available databases of microbiome from individuals that have been made public that are used globally. So quite progressive as a nation to look at gut microbiome science. Now, the products, that's a different thing. The science and the products haven't quite made that match. And that's where we want to step in and provide value as a curator and also as somebody that can progress some of that science so that the product and the science do match. Some of the things that you might see are a prebiotic powder that's supposed to be good for the gut. But in reality, the prebiotic, which is a food for a gut organism, has a very specific purpose. So that food will only drive the concentration of one or a few microbes of the gut up. And so there's no generalized prebiotic. That also has to be dialed in to what organism you're trying to change in the gut system. You can kind of think of it like a garden, and you have different vegetables planted. If you have mangoes, you're not necessarily using the same food and soil environment for the mangoes versus your tomato plants or your potatoes. You sometimes use different types of ways to encourage growth and foster positive ecosystem.
So do you like because I'm assuming I love your product and it sounds really good, great. Two things I think. First of all, probably not available in Finland yet for us, I'm guessing.
Well, we just opened up our Swiss entity, so we are in Switzerland, and we can reach out and reach those in the Scandinavian countries as well. And so if you're interested, please do reach out, and we can always figure out a way to get that over to you.
Oh, that's great to hear then that you're also in Europe as well. And then two, I think something that always has to be asked when you've got this really good, this really cool product that sounds like it's going to really help a lot of problems is the cost, because I think that's been a big thing that's really stopped a lot of people from adopting or taking very new, interesting, sustainable, revolutionary products in the market.
Yeah, we do price at a premium level, but if you look at other probiotics in the market, they're around in US dollars, $50 to $60 is your general 30-day supplement product. And we're priced at just $20 more than that, at $79 a month. And you're actually getting a gut analysis done at the beginning. And then you're also getting a fully customized probiotic that includes the prebiotics. So prebiotics and then we also include some botanicals and other extracts in there and vitamin mineral supplements. So it can be quite comprehensive for what you're getting. So instead of having 3 pill boxes or sometimes even more on the counter in the morning, we can really compound that into a single capsule and make it simple.
That is quite interesting. I know, for example, here, if we bought, I guess if we bought a yogurt, and it's got it's got lots, it's probiotic or prebiotic family friendly, it's usually about priced anywhere between €1 or €2 for that serving. And if you were if you were to theoretically eat that same yogurt supplement every single day, even if you shake it up, that's about €30 a month. So I'm not sure if it's got the same amount of, probiotics or prebiotics versus your product. So I guess it's not necessarily that far of a cry. if you're already a person who's investing money in that type of product already.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, Vivian, that on the myth side, there is a belief that the probiotics are actually surviving the gastric system from those food products. And so far in our experience in the yogurts, those strains don't actually show up on the retest data. So it's probably getting killed off in the stomach acid. But that doesn't mean yogurt isn't healthy for you. Yogurt is still a fantastic fermented food that is helping probably other organisms of the gut grow up. But the direct organism or probiotic supplement that's inside that yogurt is probably not providing a lot of value back to your own health. More so, the yogurt itself is probably the healthy component of that. So a capsule that we use actually encapsulates and protects the probiotic organisms. And so in acid, where there's like low pH in your stomach, the capsule stays fully intact. And then the minute the capsule makes it to a higher pH, like 5.5, where the duodenum is and the small intestine is, it begins to dissolve, and that's where you can get the full value of the probiotic delivered to where it needs to be.
So if I was to make an analogy about, kind of what you just said, like, for example, internet connections, because people know that pretty well. Like I have 100 megabit per second internet connection running into this house. And there's a fiber optic cable running into this building. But from the base of the building up until here, where it is copper wire, which is less efficient. So then by the time the actual speed gets to us, we're paying for 100 megabits per second, but it goes down to around 40 megabits per second download speed. Is that kind of like what you're getting at a little bit?
Yeah, there's definitely something eating up some of the bandwidth in the process, and so you want to make sure you get the maximum of what you're paying for, right? And that is what we solve for with our enteric coated capsules, so that the delivery is full stream.
So that is, and then when you compare that, it's like, okay, think of like the product you buy from the store where you're totally randomly guessing, and it may be helping, it may not be helping, like who knows. Our diet has always been a bit of a wild guess, right? And some people have amazing healthy gut biomes just by eating random food. So I mean, there's nothing to say that won't work. But like, why go through the whole randomness of it if you can kind of, have this increased guarantee by having a capsule and doing the analysis and that sort of stuff, and go through all that trial and error yourself.
And frankly, we didn't have this technology, 5-6 years ago. This is really just emerging technology that has outpaced the usage in the medical field even. And so, the sequencing technology is really what ignited this field, and it moved towards human genomics. And now we're focused on the microbiome side of things and the DNA of the microbes. And if you can understand that food to microbe interaction, this is what precision nutrition truly is dialing in your nutrition to benefit the microbes of your gut, to benefit your own body better, and to have the proof, right? The retest data. And that will give you confidence. And yes, we do see a lot of people on our platform that have really good gut health and are doing a great job eating diversified vegetable fibers and probably lean proteins like fish and chicken and other things, and complementing that with fermented food and taking their supplements. But if you're not doing some of those things, or if you're doing some of those things and you're wondering if you're taking too much of one or the other, this can be a good way to kind of figure that out.
I think I also want to ask you about another potential myth, just for clarification. Like, some people might get the impression by watching this video that, oh, maybe I can just, take Floré and then, eat whatever I like and not have to worry about still eating a gut biome. I'm assuming that's probably not what you're going to encourage. I think you're probably still going to encourage people to eat diversified foods, eat lots of fermented foods, and boost their microbiome naturally as well through their diet.
Yeah, we do give people macronutrient guidance and some recipe guidance as well, because it's a sort of a trifecta of health, right? You want your microbiome to be really solid, you want your hydration to be really good, and then you want your food habits to be aligned. And that's where you can get like the most, what they call, power, out of it. But we do have the customer, we have the financial banker that's working late hours and having gut issues. We have the mothers of two that have very little time to cook every meal perfectly, but suffering from gastro and reflux disease or GERD, and the traveling speaker that is not going to be able to get a home cooked meal every day, but is measuring the distance to the bathroom because they're managing their IBS, and the professional athlete that needs to push their body to the ultimate, and probably taking physical damage to their intestinal tract, and looking at how to manage their gut microbiome. So we have those types of customers that have used our product, and it's really about just understanding where you're at and then making a plan to track the improvement over time. And whatever that plan includes, it could include customized nutrition regimen, your dietary supplement with the probiotics, and other aspects. But it's really important to track it. Otherwise, you may end up spiraling into what they call dysbiosis.
So it's not necessarily just a, hey, take your pill and you're good to go, but it's your company approaches it in a holistic way. Is that what I'm understanding? That you're probably going to ask them about their lifestyle. Is it possible for them to, is it possible for them to incorporate it into their diet? If so, why not? And offer suggestions for ways to do it better, and not necessarily just be like, oh, keep taking this pill, and it'll fix everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're on your side. We're as a service for our customers. So any way that we can motivate and share more about the importance of nutrition and other aspects of gut health, we're all for it. We think the probiotic creates that reminder daily that we are going to do something healthy for ourselves, and it does supply the healthy organisms of the gut and build some resilience. So the bifidobacteriums and the lactobacillus organisms that we're supplying, bifidobacterium infantis, allimolis, lactis, they've all been shown to have benefit to our immune health, and so it can help create that sort of support structure for our immune health. But then they're not therapeutic drugs to cure anything. They're nutritional supplements as food to create support and nutrition for your body. But it can create amazing relief for those that are managing their chronic conditions and start to begin to think about good ways to manage our chronic conditions.
Sounds really good. I like the holistic approach that your company is taking. Yeah, and I think I also find it fascinating because I think the knowledge and the expertise and the technology you're offering, this is for me. I feel like, if I'd asked for this a decade ago as a person with no serious major health conditions, but who just wants to improve my health, who's trying to be proactive, I don't think this would have been available to me. I think I would have had to have some like serious issues with my gut before they're like, okay, let's take you to some experts and do some consulting, and we'll take a sample of your stool and do an analysis in the lab.
Yeah, and what's more is the science has really just ramped up over the last 5-6 years. I mean, 10 years ago, there was maybe 100 articles a year published on the microbiome. And today, that's probably around 20 to 50,000 scientific publications every year around the microbiome, and specifically around human microbiome and gut microbiome. There's at least 2,000 publications every year now. So the space has just exploded. Our awareness of gut-brain axis, our awareness of understanding the gut is linked to other parts of our body and wellness, the neuroenteric nerves of our intestinal tract are linked to gut health, and our immune system is linked to gut health. Things have really changed in the last 3-4 years, and so that's why we want to democratize the technology so we can really empower customers to know what's going on.
Yeah. And we were chatting about the Food Innovation and Investment Summit earlier. You said you had a wonderful experience there. Like, where do you see Floré going forward? Where do you see the industry of precision nutrition in general going forward?
Well, precision medicine is a massive field. It's a $493 billion global market. Within that, 60% of that um, is precision nutrition. And so one of the biggest fields in precision medicine is precision nutrition. And in the United States, we're probably about 50% of that market as well. So it's a very large market size that's been growing rapidly year over year. And we believe we play a role through these types of diagnostic testing paradigms with these tests that can help people understand where they're at and retest feedback loop to build trust and confidence around what you're doing, but then actually modulate the microbiome and be able to change it and increase beta or alpha diversity of the gut through the use of some of these key organisms that can stimulate that. And if that helps an individual overcome a challenge meal or helps depress their glycemic index during a challenge meal, or helps them stave off infection from their immune support that they get from it, or helps them manage their bloating or diarrhea or constipation. I mean, these are the things that we want to make sure that people have the right tools available to them so that they don't have to suffer anymore. There's a solution available.
Mm-hmm. Uh, you know, really, really interesting. So I think if audiences were to take away any lesson, it's that their microbiome is unique, and therefore, their probiotics should be as too. I believe that's a lesson you want them to take away. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I learned in the genomics era, and when I was studying human genome sequencing at Illumina, was that between two individuals, like you and I, our DNAs are going to be 0.1% different, just 0.1% different of our human DNAs. But our microbiomes, the DNA of our microbes of our gut, they're going to be 90% different. And that is a big difference. And so from our perspective, that massive difference indicates that a precision approach is needed, a personalized approach is needed, and we need unique solutions for our own gut. And that could be food, probiotics, prebiotics, or other things that change the gut microbiome.
All right, everybody. So check it out, www.flore.com. I guess they can just any customer can just send you a message on their site and get started. And right now, you are able to serve the USA, is also Canada as well.
Yeah, North America is a fairly easy region for us to provide the solutions for our customers. Other regions, we ask them to reach out to customer service at sungenomics.com. Excuse me. Customer service at sungenomics.com is where you could reach out if you are in an international region or in a European region.
All right, but I'm sure they can also just, if they go to flore.com, and even if they reach out there, the customer service will just tell them where to go as well if they need to, if they're not in North America, correct?
Yes, and we have our phone number on the top of the website, so you can always call as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, we need to wrap up this conversation, but I was hoping you could tell us if you had any words of wisdom for aspiring startups who maybe don't necessarily want to follow in your exact path, but to do something with food or sustainability or just entrepreneurship in general.
Sure. I don't know if I'm an entrepreneur yet, or I'm been first maybe a dad and a scientist and had a need, but have found myself in this entrepreneur journey. And I think one thing that I would guide is, it's never going to be a perfect ship. And so I think a quote from, there's a poet, Nikki Giovanni, mistakes are a fact of life, and it's the response to error that counts. And so as you're building a company and building infrastructure, it's how you react to the challenges as you're building and scaling the technology.
Thank you so much. Once again, everyone, that is Sunny Jain from Floré, powered by his other company, Sun Genomics. You can check out their website, floré.com. And if you have any questions, and and we'll see you around for the next episode. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thanks for having me, Vivian.
Today's live stream was powered by our partner, Restream. Click on or visit our affiliate partner link, restream.grsm.io/foodtechies, to receive a $19 credit towards your first subscription. When you subscribe to Restream using our partner link, we may receive a referral fee, which goes towards helping us continue to produce content like this for you. Thanks again for watching.